Thank you, Connor. All right, kiddo, whenever you're ready, you can get started.
All right. Coming into this talk, I definitely feel a good amount of anxiety. Anxiety about stumbling over my words or forgetting what I had to say, or generally just not doing well. But when I thought about it, it's really no different than starting a hike. Though you have to make sure you're prepared beforehand. There's no way to predict the rocks you'll have to climb or the incline you'll experience until you're actually on the trail. And the view at the top, once you've pushed yourself and exerted yourself, makes all of your efforts worth it. So I've decided to treat this no differently than I would a hike. To just throw myself onto the stage and thinking of how rewarded I'll feel when it's all over. The thing about your mindset is, it can drive you to success or failure. If you believe you can and you're willing to try, then you're a lot better off than when you believe you can't, so you just sit still. So here I am. I might be terrified in my core, but I'm up here, and I'm doing it by using the mindset I've learned throughout all of my hikes. For my senior project, I completed 35 hours of hiking, researching what techniques help build endurance in hikers. In my research, I found that being prepared, taking steps towards your goals, and pushing yourself will help you the most. Being prepared is a very important first step. I remember the first time I attempted a winter hike, I didn't bring any hiking spikes. It was like upper 60s that day, so I didn't really think about it. The first 3/4 of the trail, I was completely fine. By the last stretch, I was hopping from dry spot to dry spot in an attempt to avoid face planting into the ice. What I didn't realize is the ice at the top of the mountain would not have melted because of one warmer day. But I went to the bottom and I figured out all of the stuff I needed to hike comfortably and safely. I ended up buying a wool base layer, a feather down jacket, and hiking poles, spikes, gaiters, a wind resistant outer shell. And the next time I did a hike, I did Mount Liberty. It was raining at the bottom and it was snowing at the top, but the whole time I never got wet, I never got cold, and the feeling at the top of the mountain, after hiking in all of this weather, I'm getting pelted in the face with ice and snow. Can't even see off the mountain, but somehow I've made it to the top of a 4,000 footer. I don't know, I always saw that stuff in like Instagram thinking like, people actually do that? That's kind of crazy. But then I turned into the crazy one. But if you learn how to prepare yourself for whatever you aim to do, from note cards for scary presentations to hiking spikes for icy trails, not only will you find yourself less scared, but you'll be able to reach the top. The next realization I came to is how important the little steps are. Mr. Calder hiked the entire Presidential Traverse. This consists of 7 4,000 footers, 23 miles long, and he did it all in one day. When I asked him how he did this, he said he did shorter, more strenuous hikes to build up the stamina to do the traverse. Though in the moment, those shorter hikes wouldn't feel as rewarding as the whole traverse, there are the steps that help you build the stamina and accomplish such a feat. And it really is. It's the small steps that you take towards your goals that will get you further than if you were to do nothing at all because you told yourself it was out of your reach. So take those steps, no matter how minute they might seem, because you're getting further. The last thing I learned in my hiking journeys is how powerful it is to push yourself. Oftentimes when I'm hiking, I find myself getting tired and thinking, maybe I should take a break. But then I tell myself I can take a break once the trail flattens out again. By the time the trail flattens out again, I don't find myself wanting to stop. And it's made me realize how much of a mind game hiking, or really anything, can be. And once I push myself through that first wave of exertion, it's like my body's in a trance and I could go for as long as I wanted. And pushing yourself can even be as easy as trying new things or facing something that you once felt fear for. And in a way, it's like unlocking new doors and realizing something about yourself that you didn't know before. And it's empowering and to overcome these obstacles, and once you do, you feel a little more unstoppable. For instance, at first doing solo hikes was something I found rather intimidating. I felt consistently scared of the animals I could cross paths with, or just being alone in the woods. But after a couple of lonely hikes, I started to find peace in it. My whole perspective shifted from being scared to realizing that I could go at my own pace whenever I found time, and I found independence in it. There's something so liberating about being in the middle of the woods with no thoughts but your own, no drive but your own. If you want to be able to get to the top of the mountain and then back down, you have to be the one to tell yourself to keep going. There's no one ushering you along, telling you that you've been waiting for too long. It's all on you. And anytime I pushed myself in that sort of capacity, I felt this sort of self-love rush, like nothing was out of my reach and I could accomplish so much. And I found this quote from a man named Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, that kind of goes along with everything I've learned. And he says, "We can do more than what we think. It's a belief system that I have adopted, and it has become my motto. There is much more than meets the eye, and unless you are willing to experience new things, you'll never realize your full potential." See, in life, the things we wish to accomplish won't always be handed to you. In fact, if they're handed to you, it's more of a gift than something that you've earned. Sometimes you have to struggle, but that is when you learn the most. So take the little steps, even though sometimes it'll feel like it's taking forever, you are getting somewhere. Just keep moving in the direction you want to go, because it's a whole lot better than standing still and living with regret. Just make sure you're prepared, keep building to where you want to be, and don't stop pushing yourself. And when you finally get to the top, with a clear view to the world around you, you will be able to see just how far your efforts can get you. Questions? Rose?
Victoria, what was your favorite hike?
Probably Mount Liberty. It was cool. Dylan?
How many hikes did you do alone?
Probably like 4, I guess.